Wisconsin Department of Health Services is reporting the highest number of new positive COVID-19 test results to date. 528 people have been diagnosed in the past 24 hours, bringing the total cases since the start of the outbreak to well over 13,000. It's also important to note the last day had the most tests conducted in the state so far. Thank you for joining us. I'm Amber Noggle.
And I'm George Smith. This news comes as every county in the state has eased at least some restrictions. As businesses bounce back, some will face new challenges to their bottom line. Jennifer Cleasy has you covered on the concerns in the food supply and what changes you could see at restaurants as they reopen.
We've never worked this hard to sell so little.
The pandemic has been a roller coaster for Nesvig's food service in Windsor.
The last 2 weeks has been a whirlwind.
After losing their biggest customers when restaurants closed, they shifted to fill the need for meat and fish in grocery stores.
We've been balancing inventory that we had from before this, balancing what we need to buy fresh and when we need to buy it to try and avoid the peaks of the market.
Director of Sales Andy Burns says those peaks hit beef the hardest.
It's easy to say a doubling in price of raw material.
If you're seeing a raise in the supply prices, there's very little margin there to be able to absorb that.
As restaurants get ready to reopen, those higher costs could force some changes to keep them going after already losing 50 to 70% in sales to the pandemic.
They may have to reconfigure their menu and reconfigure the pricing, and they have to be nimble and flexible with that.
That poses a pretty big challenge right now when they're already struggling financially. How do you see this playing out for restaurants?
I already know there are a number of restaurants who have permanently closed their doors. So it's been brutal on restaurateurs and the industry. Of all the industries, we've been the hardest hit.
Restaurant Association President Christine Hilmer is asking customers to be patient with the changes.
There's going to have to be a lot of give and take
as the industry does everything it can to rebound.
We're watching price sheets every day, waiting for that break.
Jennifer Cleasy, 27 News.
Some relief is on the way for Wisconsin farmers who are hurting from COVID-19. There's a $50 million farm aid program. Governor Evers announced the money will come from the federal coronavirus relief bill. Farmers could start seeing payments as soon as next month. Evers also announced a rent assistance program will be established from the federal money. People who lost income during the pandemic can apply for help paying rent and security deposits up to $3,000.
Right now, Wisconsin elections officials are figuring out how the August primary and November general elections will work. After serving a record number of absentee voters in this year's spring election, a report says there were significant logistical and technical challenges to fulfill the amount of requests for absentee ballots. 61.8% of all ballots were sent in by mail, and another 12.6% voted early. The presumptive Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, makes his first virtual appearance in Wisconsin. He held a roundtable discussion focusing on issues impacting rural Wisconsin and the COVID-19 pandemic.
Capitol Bureau Chief Emily Fannin has you covered on what Biden believes is necessary to address the crisis. Emily?
Former Vice President Joe Biden criticized how the Trump administration is handling the crisis, saying the government needs to start planning now to help the economy rebound, like investing in programs to sustain health care needs and help businesses stay open. He also acknowledged the hardships on Wisconsin farmers. Biden said it's time for the government to realize farmers don't want bailouts, but instead opportunities to survive. The roundtable discussion also to address the need for high-speed internet in rural communities to help them strive, but specifically for healthcare providers to reach more patients during the pandemic.
Expansion in broadband across rural areas so that every child has a chance to thrive, every business has a chance to compete, every hospital has a chance to do telemedicine.
Earlier in the day, the Trump campaign held a press call with Republicans who slammed Biden for calling out the president and his response to the pandemic.
To make sure that we get assistance when it comes to health, certainly starting out early on with the travel bans, waiving co-pays for coronavirus treatment, getting critical protection really to frontline.
Right now, Biden is also holding another virtual event in Milwaukee. I also spoke to him one-on-one today. Coming up tonight at 6, the former VP weighs in on Wisconsin, who no longer has a statewide safer-at-home order after a new poll shows a majority of Americans fear reopening will lead to a rise in new COVID-19 cases.
All right, Emily, thank you. It is not too late to soak in some of that sunshine. It's been a beautiful spring day. And John, we are hoping this nice weather sticks around. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're probably not going to see this kind of sunshine for a while, but straight sunshine out there now. We're going to increase the cloud cover, but we needed the sunshine. And at this time of the year, even if it's north wind or northeast wind, I don't care. The sun's going to warm you up. So we went 4 straight days where we didn't actually see any sun, not anything, really not even a break. So just a break into that sunshine was so nice today. 69 in Madison, 64 in Monroe. So 64 is your cool spot. Little more cloud cover near Platteville, Monroe today, but tons of sunshine for most of the state. And you can see Camp Douglas is at 74, leading the way here. There's been a breeze at around 15 to 20 miles per hour. That will continue. There's that cloud deck I was talking about. But I think most of tonight was going to be clear. It's going to be a very quiet night, great evening. Once the winds lighten up here, this could be one of those perfect evenings to step out on your patio. It's going to be a nice one. We'll talk about warmer temperatures and then that holiday forecast in the full weather.
All right, John, we'll see you in a bit. Many businesses have pivoted since the start of the pandemic.
The Madison Mallard season is on hold, but Warner Park will be open tonight. Lance Vieser is live to explain how the Mallards are hoping their new plan will be a hit in the community. Lance?
Warner Park will be a whole new world tonight. Instead of watching some baseball, spectators will be treated to a showing of Aladdin on the video board there behind me in the outfield. Now the Mallards transforming Warner Park here into a drive-in movie theater tonight in a matter of a few minutes. The gates will open and up to 100 cars will be parked in the outfield, a safe distance apart. Moviegoers will be able to listen to the movie through an FM transmitter. Now the Mallards had considered doing something like this in the past, but with baseball on hold, the timing seemed right to take a swing at it right now.
We had actually already been in the planning process of turning the ballpark into a drive-in. We didn't think we'd be able to open it up this quickly, honestly. But the support of really amazing city staff from the health department, the city attorney's office, the mayor's office, parks department, police, fire, all these different people got involved.
Well, the Mallards have 10 screenings scheduled right now through May 26th.